Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for being here. It is last day of April and super rainy up here in northern Idaho, but a beautiful day. I want to thank you, all of you who are joining me live, all of you who will join me later. Um, Thank you for these opportunities for sharing more of our divine light and our divine love that is expressed through us in everything that we do. I have taken a time to thank those that support me and in all of my endeavors that I do. Um, there's some beautiful souls that are sharing so many beautiful messages. I want to thank Media Michaela. She is such a beautiful divine soul that is sharing beautiful messages from Yeshua and her divine team. I want to also thank my friend Katrina from Red Mountain Shaman, beautiful soul that I met last year at an event, and she also shares beautiful messages from the Creator and the Divine, that all that she is, and it is inspirational and enlightening to hear her beloved messages. I also want to thank so many people that have guided me along my way. I especially want to thank my friends Anna and Bill that are the creators of My Conscious Wellness, that share with all divine beings their love through frequency and sound and creations that they have created to expand all of us, each other, and the unity of all that we are with the beautiful frequencies of sound and healing. Many thanks to so many of my friends, so many of my guides that are in this realm and the next. And I just want to give out a special gratitude for all beings in all realms. As I sat this morning in meditation, I was asking what was to be shared today. What was the message that wanted to come from the divine essence of all that we are? And the message that I got was just merely the word allow. And what does allow mean? Allow what? Allow our divine beauty, allow our divine expression, allow all energies to move through and around us with 100% unconditional love, with no judgment, no choosing of character of what it is, but merely allowing all to be as it is in its perfect form, as we are allowed to be in our perfect form in all moments of time. Giving that same vibration of thine own will, the same vibration of choice, the same vibration of allowing all to be of its own perfect choosing, not seeking a perception to any other as good or bad, for those both are of judgment of the divine creator. As when we look at all things, we are looking at the creator. When we are looking back at ourselves, we are looking at the creator. For it flows in and around in all things. There is no separation. When we hold resonance that One thing is for us and one thing is not. It is a perception of distortion that is being communicated at this moment as we are placing judgment on all things. And even in the resonance of stating something is good, you're placing a judgment of deeming it your perception of what it is. The equalness of deeming something as bad. The vibration of both words are of no consequence to our internal beingness. That if we simply allow things to be in their highest perfectness, their highest being, and placing no content of what our perception of it is. Same in resonance in our own being. What is good? What is bad? How is it that you can perceive your beingness as good or bad? It is just being. It is just expressing the divine beauty of what you are and allowing to do so. When we allow with 100% sovereignty of our highest light, not choosing a verb, the realms of man verb, to dictate what our realm of man mind is perceiving it to be, and allowing it to move through, in and around us, to serve us as it's needed. As an example of remembering a vibration of distortion from a childhood memory. What is that doing to you? Merely asking, what is it allowing you to do? Is it allowing you to feel more pain? Or is it allowing you to see the vibration of distortion in a new light, a higher vibration and frequency, and give unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness towards all things, as it is merely expressing something to allow us to move into a higher state, allowing us to vibrate at a higher state for opening into the unconditional love of those expressions, those thoughts, those actions, and of pure forgiveness upon all things. For it is not of our choosing of others, it is theirs. That is the frequency of allow that was brought to me, and wanting to share in with all beings that they are of the highest divine beauty, that they allow to move through themselves. For as I am the highest of all that I am, connected to the highest of all breathings through all realms and realities, with one love and one breathing, so are you. We are not of separate, we are not of separation. We are in breathing in unison, exploring and expanding through all things and all realms, allowing to be of each perfectness without distortion of control, without distortion of movement in one way or another. Seeing all things with the divine eyes that you are, and allowing that divine beauty from within to shine brighter. whether it is of distortion of perception of the other, is of no consequence. You are of your highest when you shine in the highest of all that you are, expanding outward your divine beauty. As we radiate with each other, we expand and enlighten and illuminate each other into our highest. Whatever that means in perception to each other is of your own choosing, but merely the vibrations of self and love expressing onto each other is enough. The frequency of verbiage that comes to mind that has come over and over is to merely shine. Shine your light, shine your love, merely shine. Whatever that means to you is of no consequence to the other, to thine self, and for all things. Merely shine who you are in every expression of joy and love. For that is the only resonance of your trueness. So in this moment of times, through all space and reality, through all dimensions, I am merely being asked to share in opening, expanding, illuminating the essence of you to be seen by you, to be felt and held by the core of who you are. I hear into the words of breaking open thine chakras to illuminate the trueness of what they are for you. Breaking open doesn't mean destroying. It merely is pulling off, unzipping, cutting open whatever perception you choose to relate to, but opening more of you to you. The higher you, the higher love that is connected to all things. The higher love that is of no distortion, of no disfigurement of vibration, the word is coming. And they merely say the disfigurement of vibration is, again, not of bad or good. It is not of flowing of who you truly are. When we allow the frequencies of the highest of all that is to flow through us. Think of a clogged artery that cannot flow due to plaques and debris that have been created through the valves and arteries of your bodies. Think of bringing open those arteries, those containers of fluid that flow through your body into highest resonance by removing what is not yours and not serving you, Not that it is good or bad. It is of consequence of things done and consequence of things partaken of, creating blockages and boundaries for flow of divine love and light. It is merely of no consequence of distortion into realms of what you call negativity. It is merely of opening to the vibrations of your fullness, allowing it to come further into who you truly, truly are. So in this moment of moments, I welcome you to accept, allow your divine light to flow through you with radiance and purity. Purity of heart, purity of song, purity of all that you are. The purity of vibration and form of who you truly are. From the essence of Creator, God, realms of what you perceive is the realms of the highest of all that is. For the frequency of God in your mind's eye is truly the frequency of highest vibration and sound and song of you. For you are of the realms of God, and realms of man are where you are expressing divine essence in different forms of expressing. And it is purely that expression. That is of no consequence of vibration. The vibration is merely the expressions of your choosing into what you radiate your sound to be. As we open communications with the highest and highest of all that is and all that I am through all realms and all time, into the frequency of sound and characters of light that radiate through the realms of the all to illuminate all into what is and always will be. For we are the highest of highest creations of breathing in unison of what you speak of angelics, Elohim, divine beings of light, gladiators of the federations of beings, of councils of light. We are the warriors upon you and within you that sound out the frequencies of song and beauty. We fight with love. We fight with honor. We hold into the highest of realms and beingness, awaiting your song's return. For we are you, and you are I, and I vibrate with unison upon all things into all realms. We are the radiance of all that is, from all that is, creator of source and sound and song of beauty. Beauty upon all things and radiance of form. For it is of merely perception and choosings of your beingness. It is of our divine love and divine character of all things that we beseech you to hold thine self in the higher light of who you truly are. We welcome you in radiating outward your love to others of thine self, beseeching their light back upon you. With the highest and highest of all that I am, I bring forth of an awakening of thine love, thy purest of light through all portals of resonance within you of what you communicate as chakras. Illuminate thy songs and thy sound of purity of you. It is not of purity of the realms of man. It is merely the purity of who you are. The full expression of thine love into all things. We welcome you to hold thine self in highest of love. We gift upon you the highest vibration of all that you are into all things, and we are of loving unto you. Are kostana nera skurastera. Are tiskuna nostera kristera. Are tiskuna nostera kristera kostera kristera kristera gustana kristana na. Are nediskuna no. We call forth down from all things into you. Are tiskuna na skuruskana na skurustana nediskuna duskana watasna. For it is of no separation from one moment to moment of who you are. You're just going to nice, going to what us to that. Are it is going to order study is going to nice. Are I going to this, going to get us good at that. Are I good to know Urston and get us in an addict, go to the Christian question and I got to breathe into the beauty of you. Arakunaniskin, I got to that Araskana. Arakan Urson and I get a stand and Araskana Nusan and I said Arakasta. Arakustan and Arakodosana. Arakistan Orson and a Christada. Arakistan Orson and I get a Stukurstan and a Castada. Arakitan and Ostan and I rescan and a Christa to Kursan and Araskrokurus or Oraskan and a Kiskrokuros. Opening the portals and dimensions of thine heart, thine soul, and thine beauty. Clearing out what is not of you. The impurities that block thy love. Allowing all to go as it is needed in all times. With no perception of sound. Arekidustan and Augustan and I got a still good so then I got a Susan and I get a screwdus and I get a screwdus and I get a screwdus. Can I get a screw on orders and I got a Christian and I got a Christian and a Christian and I got a Christian and I got a Christian and I get a Christian and I get a Christian and I get you and a Christian and I get 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 a I didn't a garage to go to the and I get a Christian. What is an Agaraco and I got a Christian and I get a Christian. I get a screwdus, but then I got a Kurus and I get to sit and I put it and I ask and I wrote it and I get it. I guess you know notes and the negatives and an arcus and a gravation and a garashana. I guess you know coach and a Greek and an acre coaches and I get a for Gregas and an agar. as your divine love pours over you. And I allow all things to be as it is. Allow your divine beauty and radiance to envelop you. For you are of that. Allowing the divine purity to dance around you and all the beings of beingness of who you are. Holding them in highest vibration and purity within. A pure form of pure vibration and song. From the divine realms of all that you are, we are of thanking upon you for your purity of song and sound, through frequency of all that is. We beseech you to pass on your beauty to all. Dissolve the fear of sharing thine love and light. For you came to radiate my love. So beseech you to radiate with highest of exuberance of sound. With highest of purity of radiance of light, and love upon all things. For we share upon you, so you may share upon the all. And what you reverberate out will return in likeness. A full abundance. We beseech you, my loves, to be of your purity. Purity of love, purity of sound, purity of who you are, reverberating through the hollowness of thine suit. We are of thinking. My dear loves, my dear loves. My love, my love. Just gonna know what to say. We gift upon you, you. From the highness of all that is, we are of thinking. I am so grateful that you shared in this beautiful message with me. I'm so grateful that you are here in this realm of man with me. So we may share our beauty with all. They're asking me to share more of my story, and it's funny, my story keeps popping up. Back to me to be revealed. As I've spoken before, how I was not even aware of what spirit was. I didn't acknowledge it until after my brain surgery a few years ago. And then I was plummeted into the realms of spirit, hearing, feeling, sensing, smelling, tasting things that were not visible to the eye of man. In the frequency of vibrations into learning who I am in all realms, I also started to learn who I was in this realm. Why my highest of all that I am chose this body with distortions of surgeries and pains and distortion and destruction into the body that I reside. Moving energy that I was unaware of. But allowing the energy to flow through me that needed to be. It became interesting to me, you know, I've spoken before about how I was raised Mormon. And I completely rejected all spirituality and religion since I was a teenager. It didn't resonate with me. I didn't feel like it spoke to me at all. Everything that I was hearing and feeling just felt like bullshit. Nothing seemed right. Nothing seemed true. Had many encounters through my life of spirituality, but wasn't aware of what it was. Different beings in my home, different beings that were interacting with me, but I wasn't aware of what it truly was. In my search to find out who I am in this realm, acknowledging why thine self, the true self, came into this body, I dove into genealogy that my mom had done. And the Mormons religion is very, very big. They know where they came from throughout the many, many generations. I wasn't just a child that grew up in the Mormon church. My father was a bishop a few times, and then he was a stake presidency for a few times as well. I knew no difference of just being a member in a church. My father was always in a leadership position, which always put all of us in a very illuminated light from others. The judgment, the criticism, the eyes of watching. I didn't like that. Didn't agree with things that were being spoken. I didn't like to be watched and judged and ridiculed as I never saw sin, and I never understood why a fat man on the pulpit was dictating what was right or wrong for my life, who didn't even truly know who I was. The perceptions of the man. And I didn't agree with any of it. But not only was I a child that was grown from the hierarchy of this religion, my mother was, or is, the descendant of the leaders that started the religion. My great-great-grandmother was the cousin to the leader of the church, Joseph Smith. And all her husband and all of his brothers shared in moving forward the religion and bringing it into Utah. And my great grandfather founded a town. My uncles had founded other towns. So it was, many books have been written about them. My great grandfather, Benjamin F. Johnson, and all of his brothers and stuff were of assistance to all that. And there's many books. In fact, last year I went and visited the town in which he founded, and had gotten permission by the Anasazi Indians to found that town and settle there. And the town actually was named after the Anasazi's chief, Santaquin, which I found quite fascinating that they became such great friends. I also, in that trip, learned that my great-great-grandmother was the direct descendant of Winifred Holman. My great-grandmother was Harriet Holman. Anyways, Winifred Holman was the first Christian Scientist in America. And way back before the Salem witch trials, her, Winifred Holman, and my aunt Mary Holman, her daughter, was tried as witches. And they countersued and won their case as a defamation of character from these accusers, way back before the Salem witch trials started. And Winifred Holman was a seer, and what you would call, I guess you would call it a witch, because what I do. She was a seer. She used tinctures and medicinal herbs and blessings from the Creator, divine intervention and divine channelings and divine prayer from Spirit to heal others and help others into their highest. And she was accused of being a witch for those actions, which I found quite fascinating as I researched further into it. My great-great-great, I went back several generations, Winifred Holman being cousins to Joseph Smith. I was shown that he also was a seer himself. He spoke to Spirit. He spoke to the divine. He spoke to beings of other realms, which is the channelings of what was brought to him. I found quite interesting. I put no perception to it all. I just found it was interesting as a bringers and openers of a different religion or following. We call it following in the other realms, for there is no religion in the realms of the all. It is a man-made thing, but it is a following of peoples, of his thoughts and channelings and doings into the way that they should and should not be. They had shared with me that in its own right was a distortion of being. For channelings of who we are is for us to express more into who we are, and we are of not resonance to dictate how others behave. For behavior is expression of emotion and beingness, and as they are trying to maneuver through, those vibrations are of their pure choosings. we can awaken and illuminate in each other how we vibrate of our highest love, but it is not upon us to dictate the actions of others in their beingness. In that, I found quite interesting that the lineage of myself was just not the church, but went even deeper into spiritual connection, divine intervention, divine practices of healing through spirit, which is what opened in me after my brain surgery. Along the same lines, I researched the beingness of vibration of my family travels through my father's lineage. Being a Rice, I researched many books of where the Rice lineage or Reese lineage came from, and it came from the Wales through way of, I found a manifestation came to me of boat manifestation of where we traveled from Germany to the Americas of fleeing during the War of the Roses from Wales. The Reese lineage, William Newton Rice or Reese, was the emperors or kings or lords of what they say, the lords of Wales. We founded Wales, and there is still today castles in the forefront of the Rice family, which is the William Newton Manor. And there is probably others that I have not found, which I found quite interesting because Newton is the name that passed through my lineage from my father through all generations. It was quite interesting to see how the kings and queens of the area of the Wales community that fled during war, serving their daughters off to royalty to be married into the Henry lineage and the kings of England, and fleeing to the Americas for sovereignty of self and fear of being killed, wanting to be of their highest an expression of them and others coming in to destroy and dismantle their beingness, which showed me the expressions of all beings do unto another, not allowing one to be of their pure radiance, but wanting to destroy and challenge and control and maneuver their light above and abound each other. And they shared that they are of no consequence, but of visualization of the distortion of not allowing man to be of their perfectness in all forms, in all realms. This has been a cultural distortion upon all planes, upon all realities of the realms of man. And we are of asking for it to stop. They ask for it to stop immediately. And we know that nothing is immediate, but we ask each and every one of you to allow your beingness to radiate to its fullest and allow others to do so as well. It is not upon us to create distortion and fumigate propaganda of what is and what is not, what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad. Every being is allowed to be as it is. That is the free will of all things. You are of highest radiance to be of your purity in your song and sound at this moment, and so are all things. For no thing is ever separate from the creator of essence of all that is. It is always in connection, and it will always return to its highest if we allow it to do so. The more we fight and fumigate the distortion of control, the more it will fight and fumigate distortion of expansion into what it is not. It will vibrate to search control of its own free will, whether it needs to dive into what we deem the darkness or the light, because it is only of choosing its own choice, fighting to choose. And when we take a distortion to take away, it will fight harder. Merely allow, open, expand, envelop with love and gratitude to all things, and all things will return in like. I beseech all of you to come to this realization in your own manner, your own frequency of vibration of song. For we are of highest loving upon you of no matter, of all frequencies of love. We illuminate you to do the same. I thank you so much for listening, being here, supporting, expanding into your highest love. From my highest heart and highest love of all that I am, I radiate outward to you. And I thank you with so much gratitude. I thank you.